Okay, folks, I got a vent. Never mind my petty troubles today, running around buses trying to get measly things from the measly government. It's not the government, it's the crown of the monarchy. Constitutional monarchy? Constitutional? Really? Well, it could have fooled me. Let's not talk about that. But this thing about Notre Dame, the Church of Michel Nostradamus de Paris. Yeah, not that Nostradamus. Those are the two towers, kiddies. It's history. My friend Kate in Crescent Beach. Dear darling, history. The history of the extermination of the cathedrals, the extermination of Babus Albigensian, the living saints, vegetarian saints, the extermination as sons of the devil, extermination of the Arianist heresy, which was the Visigoths and the Burgundians, the exterminations of the British, the Britons, the Alsatians, the Basque. No, there's only a tiny bit of the Basque country left in France now. And the south, the Toulouse, the Muslims in the south were the Visigoths were okay with. No, nothing was okay with the Catholics. They killed millions in the name of that church. Children were raped in the name of that church. The Crusades were conducted. That gold cross was either from Jerusalem, that gold, or from the plunder of Constantinople by the French and the Venetians. That's the history. That's why it should burn anyway. But it was, I think, a Vatican insurance policy anyway, or the Archdiocese. And where did that 600 million come from when Macron can't even feed his own people properly? Oh, he could pay his troops to beat them. Wake up, people. Yes, I have a right to be angry. Why not? Isn't it time to be angry? No, it's time to laugh. Time to laugh at all the silliness. Silly! Oh, I love the history. Well, I'll tell you what, history is called historia, inquiry. And it has an answer. And it's called good versus evil. Take your pick. Which side are you on? Seriously. That cathedral. Hey, Rheims, I think it was there, or Rouen, where Jeanne d'Arc was cremated in front of for being in favor of the Bourbon king instead of the Angevin or the Anjou. I forgot which of the English kings. The English kings of France. Not the Bourbon kings of France. Who's that? You don't know the Bourbon? The history of the Bourbon? Remember Franco, Spain? Reinvade against the Socialist Republic in Catalonia, homage to Catalonia? You haven't read that, have you? Oh, Barcelona is so beautiful. Oh, what the Franquistas left of it. And why is the cross fly over the Madrid still? Why is there a Bourbon on the throne? Because of all the people that were killed at Guernica and in the horrible battles all over Spain. And this is what Macron has in mind, I think. This is the Reichstag fire of France. Because on May 1st, kiddies, International May Day, Solidarity Forever, it's Act Final, the final act, they call it, of the Gilets Jaunes. It'll be what? Sunday. No, not Sunday. That's the 20th. Yeah, you got to calculate it out. 2 more days, the 25th. The 25th weekend of the 24th. Twice 12. The last of the popes shall fall is in the prophecies. And this church was in fall of the prophecies of Nostradamus. He was just encrypting what he knew so he wouldn't be burned at the stake like John Dee. And Giordano Bruno by Savonarola in the square in Florence, one of the last acts of the Italian Inquisition before it was all over. And it was sort of a great pagan philosophy, reborn paganism, including all the guys who died in the trenches of World War I. Who can speak Latin and Greek. And we're studying things that the church did not want, and the Church of England wanted them exterminated, as did the Lutherans. You'd say I didn't want them exterminated. Well, it was very convenient. Let's put it that way. As were all the deaths of the children in the Congo in the name of the King of the Belgians. As were all the deaths of the Cathars in the name of Our Lady of Notre Dame. Oh, Our Lady of Lourdes, excuse me. Yeah, okay. ISIS, the mother. Hey, Mike. No, Jimmy, watch this, man. I'm mad. I'm mad at people saying, oh, I'm sorry for that history. Yeah, the rape of the Aboriginal children of Canada. You'd be sorry for that. Yeah, and the cardinal who got shot, aimed at, I think, was not the day priest in Mary Queen of the World in Montreal. The Second Vatican, a scale model of St. Peter's, with the Vatican Library ready to go and the Vatican bureaucracy ready to move. The Bourbon, run Quebec, with the Stuarts. And I think the Johnsons might be Irish nobility, the wrong side, of the Catholic side. People don't understand what this country is, or or that we are between the jaws of the dragon. No, not the dragon. The dragon is China. And the mouse that is Canada. Oh, Justin Trudeau. Isn't he cute? No, you're not, bastard. You're not a bastard. You're definitely your father's son. And your grandfather's, you Sinclair. And your Elliot, too. And a Beauchamp. Oh, you got to look at the noble names in that boy's background to understand who he is. And let's not talk about everybody else in this country, because America first. Well, Jason Kenney threatening to cut off the fuel supply to the U.S. Pacific Northwest again. I think this might be the last straw, kids. You don't know what that is? What the last straw is? The straw that broke the elephant's nose. It says, fuck you, mouse, and stomp out the fentanyl port that is the free trade zone of the opium port that was Vancouver, which was why the CPR got built by genocide and death and war. People get mad at me. Oh, guy making fun of me as I drive by. You know what? There's intel in the shelter. There's intel in the bureaucracy. I run into it all the time. You don't think so? Oh, you haven't traveled the world and been who I've been. Jim knows what I mean. And other people who know me know what I mean. I was a professional liar. I could pick them out. Actors? My cousin in Kitimat thinks he wants a pipeline. He doesn't care about anything. And I know he's a devout Catholic, but he doesn't care anything about the Native children that were raped. And he says, what he called me is despicable. His mother would smack his mouth for saying it. I won't even repeat it. Oh, people repeat anything they want these days as an allegation, like I just got told. Oh, you're saying things that offend me. Go away, shut up, you're crazy. No, you're the one who asked me a question. I answered it truthfully. And then you tell me I'm getting heated when I'm not? No, I'm heated. Because a good friend of mine's friend in Crescent Beach said, oh, I love the history. Well, the history is one of the genocide of the Cathars and the Muslims and the Jews and the children of France and the sacrifices of Bluebeard. Sacrifices? Bluebeard? Yeah, you better start reading the Gilles de Rais. R-A-I-S. G-I-L-S-E-S-D-E-R-I-A-S, who he is. And yeah, there's all kinds of books I can name of what goes on. What goes on in the high corridors of power. You got to remember who killed the Templars, and it wasn't just the Masons. I can't make the sign of the cross, and I don't want to. I make a complex gesture. Touch me not, fools. Like the woman who tried to curse me up in the canyon. Indeed. Doesn't work, honey. You can't fuck with a guy like me. Why? Because I have nothing. I've lost it all already. I'm the most dangerous man there is in this country. I've lost it all. I don't care. I have what's inside me. That's what counts. That's what all of us counts. The good people against the bad. You stand up right now. You stand up right now and realize that what is coming is much bigger than us. And the burning of that cathedral, if it was arson, was a Reichstag fire. If it wasn't, it was an act of retribution against the church for what was done to the Cathars and the Albigensians and even the Huguenots, against anybody, against the Crusades, against the looting of Jerusalem, against the slaughter of Muslims, against the slaughter, the hate that is the Catholic Church. Yeah, and where did that $600 million come from in 24 hours? 4 people. Oh, doesn't the Vatican have an insurance policy? Oh yeah, of course they do. Money makes the world go around, the world go around, the world go around. Yeah. Ain't life and free. You give to the birds and bees. I want money, the church goes. Give me money to build another cathedral. We want to build another cathedral to impress people with about the power of the king and the pope. The king, Macron, yeah, well, anybody who lectures from Louis XIV's desk with gold table lamps on Christmas Eve tell you the French better behave, and then an 86-year-old woman dies on Boxing Day is pure gas. It's this far away. This is not a just society that France has right now. No, it has a just, very just people who are going to rise. They're already rising. You're not being told. You are not being told. The revolution is not being televised. The media, David Beers at the Thai NDP hack. He says, you learned how to talk to the media. Are you kidding, asshole? I'm talking about the media. I am the new media. We are. We can break Facebook. How? Do we think I want to let Facebook know? No. I'm on Facebook right now to vent. I'm waiting for a bus. The absurdity of the crown. That's thinking they can dance on the elephant's nose to give a blowjob to China. No. Jason Kenney's the last straw. I think it'll happen this next month. Oh, thine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the North into the Union. One way or the other, I want as many senators as we can get. and I know how to do it. United Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples, argued at the World Court. I'd like to have Greta Thunberg presented on behalf of the Aboriginal children of Canada who were raped by the Crown, including, I can't say because I don't know about Frida Hussein, who was the Unistoten leader, get them in their personal experiences in the schools. Children were raped and killed by the schools. The residential schools established to build the railway and the pipeline. That pipeline is the CPR by proxy. And CN, another Montreal company, by proxy. Called Pacific Gulf, and it has Chinese money in it, which means that all means necessary means the use of troops. Otherwise, Canada will be sued in China and we'd have to pay. We'd have to pay because Harper signed a deal that none of the First Nations are bound by, especially on this side of the Rockies, where the Crown has no treaties to sign anything. Oh, down in Victoria they do, and in the Northeast they do, but they've broken all those treaties. So the U.S. doesn't care about treaties. It doesn't care. The Monroe Doctrine has been invoked. You don't think so? You notice how the U.S. has been kind of quiet? We're very concerned. That's very strong diplomatic language, you know. Much more stronger than any means necessary. I'll tell you what. TAR, you know, they call that dilbit, it doesn't come off nuclear submarines very well. Oh no. And the 5G network between Alaska, huge military force with technical supplies from Montana and Washington State, California. No, that's the elephants. You're breaking the elephant's back with the 5G network, China. He knows that. Putin knows it when he set up the deal with Harper. You don't think that happened? Oh yeah, well what happened in the hotel room in Vladivostok to get Harper to sign that with Jiang Zemin? He used to love the Dalai Lama, I don't know why. But he's a Christian. A Christian? Christian? What does that mean anymore? Well, it doesn't mean any of the teachings of Christ, like love thy neighbor. It doesn't mean love no matter what their skin color is, faith, hope, and charity. Sermon on the Mount, loaves and fishes. Where's the loaves? Where's the fishes? Oh, but there's $600 million to build a cathedral. And you know what? Well, Mr. Trump wants his Grandpa's cat house back in Granite Lake City, and the casino. Casinos are great money laundering things, you know. And Trump Tower, White Horse, that'd be really popular. Yeah, Dawson City, most sophisticated city on the planet still. I'd love to go there this summer. I really would. But I'd rather go to Mexico where I'll be safer. But in the meantime, I'm going to try and liberate the Slatliam Nation. I feel indigenous. I'm not Aboriginal, but I'm from there. It's my home country. Anybody who knows that knows that. A lot of us feel like that. And we'd like to vote to be part of the Slatliam Nation. We'd be like the medics, M-A-T-I-C, in ancient Athens. They weren't citizens, they couldn't vote, but they had rights. No, not exactly. But the police with racist, big foreigners, the big red-headed foreigners, they were loyal only to the city. Now, in the case of the Slatliam, the reality is the power lines and the power projects. Oh, yeah, and that LNG pipeline across the foot of Mount Meager. Yeah, that's a really bad idea, Omaha, which runs the Montreal Chartered Company owned by Buffett and Gates. We're covered by the Patriot Act anyway, sillies. So I just want to get as many senators as we can in Washington. I hope, before Trump only gives us none at all and leaves Buffett and Gates, no, not in charge, he'll just take it all. A Kristallnacht Act is coming, people, in North America and in France, all over the world, good versus evil, like Bosnia and Rwanda. It will happen overnight. I don't want to be where I live when that happens. But I also talked to a certain gentleman in civil defense here today. I won't name him. You'll know who he is. Yeah, we discussed the great disaster about the lower mainland. It's a direct threat to national security interests of the United States. Another one. What's down the schedule where that mine is? Another shit. I won't go on the list. It's a huge list. The amount of times Ottawa think it can do what want that world's longest undefended boundaries armed like teeth to teeth like the Siegfried line. Not the Maginot Line. We have no Maginot Line, not even one. Niagara? You got to be kidding me. The whole Canadian military can't handle what's in Fort Drum or Fort Lewis alone. Fort Drum is south of Montreal, prepared to invade for War Plan Red. Fort Townsend and all Puget Sound was armed for invading us during the Alaska boundary dispute. Lord Ellsworth backed off on the Yukon ports because Teddy was also implying he was going to go after on the backside of the British down in the Boer War, on the Boer side. I've mentioned that before. Dixie in South Africa, I would have hoped those Zulus beat them back into the fucking ocean. But it was going to get nasty. Britain was this chicken shit. Walked away from its responsibilities. Had all this opium finally. Had other ways to get its opium. Fine, okay. Opium? Yeah, why else were the T and SO trains going 100 miles an hour across the prairies? T and SO don't have to travel that fast, kids. Junkies needed that fast, so boy, do they ever. Says an enabler. His friend is dead. And another friend who's died. I wish I had the time to go to his grave in Yarrow. I don't know if I do today. But we don't have transport on the true transcontinental railways on the Trans-Canada Highway. Why? Because Bill Bennett's fascist father already bought up Kelowna. His brother bought up fascist. Yeah, New Brunswick KKK. Fuck, not KKK, but enough to say Higgs is the same beast. The beast? Yeah, of course it's the beast. Canada, I don't grieve you at all. That you're a false dominion, have been from the start. The Crown is gone. The Royal Navy is left. The Royal Air Force was never here. We helped save Britain. Is Britain saving Canada? No, they don't care anymore. They've walked away from Esquimalt, and Canada has never defended it, other than to threaten to go to war to build a pipeline that nobody here wants, except people who want the jobs. I'll tell you what's going to get you jobs, kids. High-speed rail to Alaska, Interstates 5, 15, and 25. Pipelines to China, not going to happen, kiddies. Other things are going to happen first, including the French Revolution that's going to turn into a civil war, or a revolution that's already changing the world, and only some countries are able to hear it. Now, I'm speaking it here a lot. A lot of people are hearing. Citizens Initiative referendums to recall politicians and civil servants, including charge them like Macron, Santan, Castaner, which I think Trudeau should face, and Kenny also, and all the other, Hargan, as collaborator, in the International Court in The Hague. Hi, you want to arrest me and beat me like you did Jack Cram and Bruce Clark for the Delgamuuk and Gixan case, or are you just going to kill me? Like so many First Nations leaders are dead. Guess who's dead are the missing and murdered Indian men. Indigenous men, excuse me. Indian, it's our term, old term. Indigenous, okay, but I'm indigenous in a sense too, right? I was born here. I'm from 7 different varieties of human. A human. We're all humans, okay? Doesn't matter what skin color. The Indian Act says that they're different than we are. No, we need to be one nation of united people. And a lot of the young Aboriginals that I know agree that the Indian Act still stands. Apartheid still stands in Canada. The Indian Act, the consequence of the residential schools and the anti-potlatch law still stand here. I know all kinds of people filled with hate with Native people still, and everybody else. Oh, we're better than they are. Oh, I'm afraid of the Americans. Well, I'll tell you what, you're going to be really afraid when that border melts. They'll have, not all of them, but we need to help the good people. And the border, all it's maintained for is to keep the power of the opium port open for the people making money off all the money laundering. Do you think the U.S. isn't going to shut that down, Trump or not? Trump just wants his own stake in it. No, Governor Inslee's a good man, and the U.S. military has a lot of good people in there. I know my cousins, I know a lot of Marines and Navy. I would trust them any day over Canadian troops. Not all. I know some nice guys in the troops, but I also know some real fucking dickheads, too. Now, being in a stunt film and being discriminated against and slandered and bullied and pushed off the film, that'll do it to you. I think it had something to do with why my place in Maple Ridge I got buggered out, too. But a lot more shit like that. No, I'm not paranoid. Oh, you're paranoid. No. Insanity is the definition. You keep on doing the same thing, getting the same stupid result. Yeah, that's called voting for Parliament, kids. Parliament? In a shitty system like that? Come on. You don't want to elect your county sheriff? You don't want to elect the president? You want to have an indirect election for somebody every 4 years and they lie when they run in and the parties always serve the party, not your representation? Why is my representative going to be from Matsqueer Mission for the Fraser Canyon when there's no contiguous land access? He'll only be there once a year if he's even there once. Oh, during the campaign, he'll be there. Whoever. It was set up by the Tories. The Liberals are even worse. The NDP are just hacks. And the international unions, they're also foreign transplants. Horgan is orange. Trump is orange. The House of Orange is the OPP. And, yes, the Orange United Empire Loyalists of the Ulster Constabulary, which also founded the BCPP and the Royal Irish Constabulary. Newfoundland Constabulary, excuse me. The genocide and war in this country are going to continue unless we all stand up and say, no, we want to be free republics. I want 1,000 sovereign nations across the north. Those that join the U.S., fine. But if we don't join the U.S., we're going to get eaten alive anyway. They only want BC and Yukon. I say Acadia, townships, the Beauce, Outaouais, doesn't matter, English, French, whatever. If you want to join the States or not, self-determination for everybody. Fuck the federal crown. I'm going to get beaten for saying that, aren't I? Or attacked somewhere. Someone else is going to walk up to me. I'm not going to stay in a shelter for fear of running into another intel cop like the disturber this morning who somehow claimed he was grad 70 mission. I don't remember that name. And you'd have to be 67. There's no way you'd be. And he's claimed to have traveled the world. Another guy says, no, he never has. No. And the staff said, well, you were, He was threatening me. No, he wasn't. Yes, he was. I'm being gaslighted, saying I'm not crazy when I'm not. They're the ones that are crazy. They think they can get away with this. There's too many people around the world waking up like me. All over the world who are waking up. So listen, the deal is not to be alarmed. Don't panic, like the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy says. Don't panic. Does no good at all. Action does. Karma is called action. But the problem with every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. When we cause an action, we don't understand enough about the universe to know what the equal and opposite reaction is. That's what the fires are about. The magnetic field thing, that's another thing of its own kind. That's far beyond our control. And everything is kind of linked to it also. The fires, the water, the storms, everything. Yes, we're causing a lot of it, but we're the stupid termites building a termite kid. There's too many of us people. And you know why? Because the Catholics wanted us all to not use condoms and contraception. Why? Why do the Catholics want the populace to overbreed like Malthus warned them not to? Yeah, that's a good question. Why? The Pope wants more. There's going to be more angels in heaven or devils in hell? Well, hell, baby. Hell is empty. The devils are all here, okay? So can't you see that? I know, because I met some this morning. But I also met some angels today, including the nice gentleman who gave me this nice oilskin coat that's too hot to wear. I'll get home tonight probably with something really interesting. Or my friend in Chilliwack put me up. Or I may just go cry all night on Shay's grave. Because I miss him. I only know him 6 months, one of my best friends ever. And I should have been there for him. I wasn't. I was a cranky old man. I'll never be like that again. I'll never be like that again. There's only so much time left. I have a long time to go, but for you folks that aren't listening to the truth, you'll find out this year. It's begun. Bang, loud drum, baned. One of my poems has a line. Bang, loud drum, the end has begun. Bang, loud, bang, loud drum, baned. If you don't understand the English, that's because you never read books, kiddies. Oh, I don't understand you. You talk too much. Yeah, well, why don't you stop watching TV and playing with Twitter all day and video games? Why don't you read actual books or learn how to think, kids? Well, I tell you what, I learned how to think along code when I was little, and the world just gotten crazier and crazier all the time. I'm not crazy. I'm totally sane. Oh, you need medication. What I need is a really good joint. And to go to my friend's grave and say a last farewell. He's a beautiful young man. Couldn't handle being, he wasn't Muslim, but he had a really, really Muslim name. So he took a scientific sounding name, a Western name. Took too many sleeping pills one night. I should have been there for him. Why? Because he was a meth freak because his dad threw him out. Too big and strong. Like some other too big and strong guys who also had thrown out. And they're frustrated young man, full of energy, gold mining, railways, whatever, building stuff in the mountains. We got to build underground. We need to do stuff, though. You don't know what I'm talking about yet, then you got to wake up and start reading. Stop watching reality TV. Good Lord, the reality TV is on TV, kids, but the revolution is not being televised. Well, it is, if you know what to look at on YouTube. Le Media, Lemedia, is like The Guardian, but only better because The Guardian is paid for, like Wikipedia, is all like bought and paid for bullshit journalism of the leftist variety. I like them, though, still, but they still lied about the French yellow vest. I got to take my bus. You guys have a nice day. I may continue this later. I got to go to Abbotsford, and make the long bus journey towards the canyon and get back to the dry country. Have a nice day.